welcome back to my channel. So for today's Junk Journal with me, we are going to be doing day 19 of Junk Journal July. Today's prompt is tucked away, so all about pockets and tuck spots and different ways that you can include extra bits and pieces in your journal by being a bit more creative. So what I did there first was I just put some fake duct tape down the middle of my journal and then glued the page together. Because this is getting so bulky, I felt like that was the best way to make sure that things don't start falling apart. So hopefully that works. I haven't actually tried that before, but I just felt like this journal is getting so chunky and I didn't want to put any additional pressure on the spine. So what I did was I had a vellum page. As I mentioned, I've got quite a few of these, and in order to not add additional bulk to that page, I decided to almost use that page to create the pocket. So I tore a strip off the side of it and then added that on top and just stapled it in place before coming in with some sewing. So I've attached the vellum to the tea dye paper that was behind it. So what I essentially have is now two tuck spots or little pockets that are made from the vellum, just the torn vellum, and I think the layering of this as well adds a really nice effect to my journal page. So I could definitely come in and add different tags or bits of ephemera into a page like this. So what I then wanted to do was add some larger imagery to the left hand side of the page. I've done a lot of fussy cutting recently and I kind of wanted a break from that, so I decided to choose this full page illustration almost and just use that as the entire background for the left hand side of this page. I really love the colorway and the kind of imagery of this, and it makes a really nice background. So I'm just chopping off the excess here, being careful not to snip any of the stitching that I've done on the edges of my pages, because otherwise it would come apart. And this was just a different way to add some imagery and interest to this journal spread. I've also just popped a bit of washi tape there because I glued it down with my Pritt Stick glue stick, but the edges were still kind of peeling up a little bit, so I just decided to add a little bit of washi tape there. And then I came in with my corner rounder because I always feel like this adds a really nice touch to a page, so I just decided to round the corners on that side. Then I grabbed my typewriter and I just found a quote on Pinterest that I really liked and decided to type it out on my typewriter. I'm just using some random cream paper that I have lying around for this. It's kind of got a really nice texture to it, so when I use my typewriter on it, I think it has a really nice effect. So you can see there it's kind of speckled rather than being plain printer paper or anything like that. And then I'm just chopping it down to size here and adding it over my illustration. Now I'm not bothered about covering up some of the illustration because I did want it more as the kind of background piece, and I decided to leave some of the extra negative space of the paper just to kind of have that as a blocked out section. And then I'm coming in with my white pen just to add some detailing on the top, just so that it didn't look like it was kind of just floating on the top of that image. Now what I wanted to do was add obviously some things into the pockets, so I just chopped out there. I was kind of debating what I wanted to add onto this page, what I wanted in the tuck spots, and I eventually landed on adding a altered vintage postcard that I had, and it was a little bit big, so I decided to trim it down to size. And I love this postcard because it had a really nice deckled finish almost on the edges, so I decided to keep that on two of the sides. And then what I'm doing now is collaging on the back of the postcard, so the part that you would normally write on, and I'm just adding some layered different bits of papers and scrap papers, ephemera. I've got a book page there, some old ledger paper. I didn't have any plan for this, I just wanted to play around with the different papers. I love the neutral tones that you get in collages like this, so I'm just using sort of different shapes and sizes of papers and layering them up. If you did this, you could obviously use any kind of blank spaces as journaling, so I may well come in and add maybe some writing to this, or you could do like a collage with like a focal piece of like an image, maybe like a flower or something like that that you've cut out. And it's just a fun way to play around with different like scraps and materials, things like that. So I've also added a bit of like ribbon lace that I had floating around as well to this, just to add some more texture to this. The blue section there is actually a William Morris washi tape, I believe. It's something that I peeled off a package or like a Happy Mail that someone had sent to me. I'm forever doing that. If anyone sends anything that has got like interesting bits on the front, or even just like they've packaged it together, like I feel like I save absolutely everything that I'm sent, and there's always a way that I will use it in my journals. As a finishing touch, I'm just rounding off the corners of this card, making sure that it fits in the page. I just think it really gives a nice finishing effect. And then I decided that there wasn't enough collage on this page, and I really wanted to add some more of this floral paper to the journal card, just to add some more pattern. So that is pretty much everything that I did for today's prompt. I think that Tucked Away was a really fun way to play around with adding extra bits and pieces to your journal, whether it's pockets, tuck spots, maybe little envelopes. It could even be like hidden journaling that's tucked away. You could take it a bit more abstract and think about how else you can tuck things away within your journal. So I hope you enjoyed journaling along with me today, and if you are taking part in the challenge, don't forget to use the hashtag JunkJournalJuly. I absolutely love seeing everybody's posts, and I've also been sharing some of my favourites within the weekly Junk Journal July newsletter. I wish there was space to include everyone because there's so many amazing pages, but that would be a pretty long email. So yeah, do use the hashtag so I can see. And I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'll see you guys tomorrow for the next one. Bye guys!